2,000 years ago, Ephesus was a booming, cosmopolitan seaport in Roman Asia, where timber, spices, and silk flowed through a massive harbor. But if you visit those same coordinates today, you won't find a harbor. You'll find ruins sitting stranded in an agricultural valley, 8 full kilometers away from the nearest drop of seawater. An entire ocean bay, big enough to dock hundreds of Roman galleys, vanished. To figure out where the sea went, we have to ignore the famous marble temples above ground and start reading the dirt beneath them. Geoarchaeologists investigate these mysteries using sediment cores. They drive a hollow steel pipe into the thick mud, pulling up a vertical column of earth. This creates a physical timeline. Because soil accumulates sequentially over centuries, the deepest layers at the bottom of the tube contain the oldest dirt, while the layers near the top are the youngest. By examining a 12-meter core extracted straight from the old Ephesian harbor, we can watch century by century as a major metropolis loses a desperate war against its own landscape. This chart maps the 12-meter core. The bottom layers show coarse sand and ammonia tepida microfossils, proving a highly salty open ocean bay. Moving up into the Hellenistic period, sand gets replaced by fine clay, indicating a cloudy, brackish lagoon. This sudden shift tracks perfectly with a local population boom. As Ephesus grew, its citizens aggressively logged the surrounding hillsides for fuel and cleared land for farming. Without tree roots to hold the soil in place, seasonal rains washed thousands of tons of dirt into the Cayster River. That river emptied directly into the Ephesian Bay. The residents triggered an accelerated cycle of erosion, rapidly filling their own harbor with upstream mud. By 290 BCE, the deep-water port was choking on silt, turning the coast into a shallow, mosquito-infested swamp. The local ruler, King Lysimachus, knew the city had to move to deeper water. When the citizens refused to abandon their ancestral homes, he waited for a heavy rainstorm and ordered his engineers to block the city's sewage drains, forcing floodwaters directly into the streets. Flooded out, the population relocated 2 kilometers to the southwest. Here, Lysimachus built a massive, mathematically gridded urban center, flanked by mountains and equipped with heavy breakwaters to protect a brand-new harbor basin. We can see the physical remnants of this fight in the stratigraphic data. This chart from a secondary core taken in the harbor canal shows a sharp disruption. Right in the middle of the fine silt layers, there is a sudden, unnatural band of large, angular stones and chaotic dirt. Those jagged rocks didn't wash down a river. They are the debris left behind by desperate Roman dredging crews, manually scooping mud and dumping rock to keep their economic lifeline open against the endless advance of the shoreline. Returning to the microfossil data, this chart tells the final story. At the upper sections, the marine life completely zeroes out. In their place, the core reveals an overwhelming concentration of freshwater species and terrestrial plant pollen. The actual texture of the sediment transitions from wet clay into thick peat, and finally into tightly packed terrestrial soil. The sea was gone. Cut off from the maritime trade that sustained its economy and battered by malaria from the expanding river marshes, the population collapsed. By the medieval period, the once great metropolis had withered into a deserted, landlocked ghost town. The Ephesians laid down miles of paving stones and built harbors that were the envy of the ancient world. But their engineering could not outpace the constant, quiet accumulation of dirt, proving how deeply vulnerable even the most advanced human societies are to the slow shifting of the earth.